Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome back to a high-level best of 5. Today in the top left, spawning as our blue Terran player, playing for Liquid. It is Clem. And in the top right is our red Zerg player, missing a lot of drones here in the main base. It's going to be Serral, playing for Team Basilisk, of course. Terran versus Zerg, perhaps the highest level of TVZ that is possible. Or that is currently available to us, and that probably has ever been available to us. I don't think there's ever been a time where players have been better than right now. I don't think there's ever been a time where players have been better than Serral and Clem in this particular matchup. Serral has an insane rating in the ZVT match. I want to say he had like 3,800 on a Legilock, which is a crazy number. Like I can't stress enough how crazy of a number that really is. Just for reference, for example, my Legilock rating against Terran, I believe, is 2,600. I believe the next best player in the versus Terran rating overall, so not just in ZVT, but the versus Terran rating overall, is something like 3,300. So there's like huge differences there. Like he's so consistently beating up Terran players. It must not be fun to be a Terran player. But then again, he's also very consistently beating up Protoss players, so it's also not fun to be a DOS. The only type of player that he isn't as consistently beating up, Serral that is, are the Zergs. Struggles a little bit in ZVZ. When I say he struggles, I mean he's the best at it, but he's not as consistently the best as he is in the other matchup. As this drone almost goes down, does get saved in time. This bad boy, though, will fall. Double Reaper opener coming out of Clem. Perhaps as a response here to his opener. Also, what's this? It's a random bunker in the middle of the map. Well, not really in the middle of the map, but in between the main and the net. Roach is now moving out. Okay, so Serral with a quick gold into a Roach attack. I want to say an all-in, but... Nah, actually, yeah, this is an all-in. This is a 2-base. This is some serious damage here that needs to be dealt with these roaches. Because how many are we looking at? We're looking at 9 roaches, with 1 Ravager already being morphed. Of course, that's going to be more Ravagers, because there are 3 drones mining from this Rich Vespine geyser. Reaper's trying to get another drone kill, not quite happening. I feel like Reaper should not move back home, should stay over here. Perhaps force a roach to hang around defensively, or try and get another drone kill or something. Like, I really do believe that to be the correct call. And so far, Clem is agreeing with me, as his response to all of this firepower coming out of Serral is going to be to get a couple of Cyclones out. Cyclone has been known to be the unit to shut down any serious Zerg aggression. I wonder if that's going to be the case here as well. As these 2 Reapers now moving in towards the main base, throw a grenade as they bop this bad boy away. Will not quite get a kill on any of these drones. Force another sport to be constructed though. Maybe just wants to take a different angle. Clem very quick usually. We see that multitasking going on right now. Clem loses 1 Cyclone perhaps for free. This Ravager almost goes down, but there are more Ravagers than Cyclones at the moment. So that probably would have been an okay trade here for Serral. If that even had happened. As now 2 Roaches will fall. No, 1 Roach goes down. Another Cyclone goes down. So far it's been 1 Roach going down in total, I believe, and 2 Cyclones already falling. It's not the greatest start. 7-8 SCVs going down here as well, as these bad boys are still stuck in a corner. On top of all of that, Reapers now making their way back home, as this Ravager is very low, still needs to be taken out. Oh, SCVs around on this Ravager, as I do believe this is going to get cleaned up with 9 SCV losses. I am not so sure how great this was for Clem. I am not so sure how great this was for Clem at all. And these Ravagers still alive. They're not done quite yet. Well, they are not. Mining being denied. Marines being taken out. Stim is about to finish up. The barracks count is merely at 2 with a starport now on the way. This CC is in serious danger, by the way. This is no joke. It's going to cost a lot of time and energy to repair that back up to full health. Or at least to health where it ain't burning anymore. Serral in a good spot here. Most definitely. Double Evo chambers going down as well. Has that Roach Warren. Did he start Link Speed? No, he didn't. Adds another 4 Roaches in. I think these are defensive Roaches. I also believe them to not really be necessary here quite yet. Because let's face facts. Clem has nothing. He has 3 Marines and a Cyclone. I'm not sure if Serral saw that starport flying over. I saw an empty reactor. So should know that medevac probably coming out in, well, what is it going to be? 30 seconds. make their way across the map. 45-ish seconds. And he has already built his roaches. I'd almost be disappointed if he adds more roaches before going up to 60, 65 workers or so. Because I don't really think it's necessary. He just isn't fighting against a serious force here. Clem just doesn't have any units. That's just the reality of things. We have no melee upgrades. We do have the metabolic boost coming out though. 8 more drones on the way as well. That's very cool. Personally, I'm a huge drone fan. Infestation pit as well being plopped down. The fact that there's a metabolic boost coming out kind of indicates a swap here into banelings eventually. Yeah, well, the baneling nest also is a strong indicator of that, of course. Not quite as good as a call as I wanted it to be. You know, so yeah, the link speed. Now it's a little bit more subtle than the baneling nest going down. Oh, it is what it is. Yeah, no credits for me there. Now, Roaches will push this back. Clem in a very poor position at the moment. Of course, Equilibrium is the hardest map in the map pool, and there are 9 maps in the map pool. That means that each player has 2 vetoes. I bet all of you at home right now are wondering, why the heck did Clem not veto Equilibrium? Well, his first veto most likely was Raadhuset Station. And after the first veto round, there is a picking round. So it's more like a draft system like you'd maybe have in a MOBA, more so than straight up vetoes into picking. So, yeah, this is the first time, of course, that we have 9 maps in the map pool. That works a little bit different. And that's the system that ESL decided on. I'm not a particularly big fan of it, but it's what they've been using for all of their tournaments. So that means that very often in a best of 5 series, we do see one map that is perhaps a little bit too favored for one of the races. And in the case of TVZ, that often is either Equilibrium or a Raadhuset Station. But a lot of Terrans really freaking hate Raadhuset Station due to the power of Mutalisk on there. Just well, basically being limitless there. Unlimited power for the Muta. So then we see Equilibrium, but there we have a quick gold base as well as a rich Vespine guys are all in one, and that is that is hard. That really is quite difficult. Now what do we have here on the side of Serral? We have 6 bases. We have a hive that is done. We have a I was gonna say we have a 3rd Evo chamber, but it's actually just a rebuild of the Evo chamber that just went down. So it's just going to be the... Wait, did he lose both Evos? Okay, 2nd Evo still in the back here, researching carapace upgrades. These 2 medevacs now popping out as well. 16 Marines in medevacs. 16 Marines and 2 medevacs. That is just beautiful. There is something great about seeing just 2 medevacs fly across the map and have a good time, you know. For some reason I like it more than seeing 3 medevacs. It feels... I don't know, I almost get nostalgic when I see this type of stuff. I don't quite know why that is. So, can we get some target fire? No, we can't. 1 Marine went down, probably about 7-8 links. Good trade for Clem, but not the type of trade that he needs at the moment. Clem needs great trades. He needs phenomenal trades. A good trade is not quite going to cut it. Terran almost always has good trades against Zerg. Also almost always has good trades against Protoss, by the way. It's one of these things that people don't quite realize. They think of Protoss as the race that is always very efficient, but against Terran, very often at the end of the game, if you look at it, Terran actually traded better by not by as much of a difference, especially in the late game as you see in TVZ, but there's definitely I think a lot of late game fights are Terran favored. That means that you know the onus is on pros to get more cash out. That can be very hard against Terran because they're so mobile. I'm not complaining, by the way, stating facts. I'd never dare to complain. 4 medevacs here with a small amount of Marines. It's going to be a pretty serious attack here. There's 3 tanks out, but there's also a couple of Blinding Clouds. Let's see some abducts rather than these Blinding Clouds. One more abduct could be a useful tool to use here. Instead, we're going to see 3 Ravager Biles take out this tank. There's a lot of tanks in the back. This actually is going to get pushed back, at least a little bit. Doesn't look like that bad of a fight for Clem, but once again, there's just so much cash behind all of this that it probably is a very bad fight for Clem, because I don't quite understand how he's going to get back up to decent supply in time. We have an Ultra coming out right now. Clem is not ready for the Ultras yet, okay? These are some Jurassic Park-like scenes. Gonna be using a stick here to fight off the dinosaur. Although in Jurassic Park it seems to always be alright in the end. Not sure if that's going to be the case here for Clem. He really just has pure Marine. First round of Marauders just now starting. It's going to be 3 Ultras out. Chitinous Plating, I think already done. Anabolic Synthesis, the movement speed of Creep buff. Also on the way, ooh, there's a Burrowed Infestor there, look at that. That is tight, that is real neat. That bad boy can burrow here, yep. Can burrow, hits the freaking fungal of a lifetime. Pushes it all away. Yeah, we now have 4 Ghosts on the way, so it's going to be 4 Marauder, 4 Ghost. It is absolutely vital that these Vipers don't join the fight. Like, if these Vipers get a Blinding Cloud off, this is just game. And Clem is just completely out of position. He is not here. Ooh, nice. Oh. Nice on Burrow there, Clem. Come on, man. That was cute. Big Blinding Cloud forces these Marauders into the Ultralisk because the Planetary gets taken out. His CC not done yet by a single second. But I don't actually think that's going to matter too much either because Clem is pretty much just straight up dying here. If it isn't against this wave, it most likely is going to be the next wave. 3 bases against, well, 7, 8 hatch. What is it? 7 hatcheries right now. There's only 76 workers though, so that's actually a very low drone count here for Serral, who is running out of money a little bit. But Clem is, well, he has nothing, so that is probably a bigger issue. Both players not looking too hot economically. But I don't think it's going to matter too much for Serral. Adds in 9 more drones. It's going to go up to the low 80s, or the mid 80s, I should say. 86. 3-3 right now, starting for Clem. Carapace level 2 done here for Serral. So Clem perhaps with a bit of an upgrade lead. So he adds in a 5th base. Before it flies over towards the bottom side. It's going to be a cancel. Ooh, that was a big mine hit. Uncharacteristic here for Serral. He tanks a little bit of damage on those links. Now moves in forward, tries to force these mines to splash, but the mines actually get taken out before they can even hit the Marines. And this fight is looking very, very bad here for our French Terran player, who's running back past the sensor tower. Wants to get a couple of snipes in with these ghosts, but just doesn't have the time to turn around to get those snipes in. Baneling's now connecting as well. Serral takes map number 1 here in Equilibrium. I think if you look at a game like that, in a series, in the context of a best of 5 series, it's not really the end of the world for Clem. So, especially with this current veto system, the way that I personally view it is that there are just harder wins and harder losses for you. So, usually the way that I approach series is that I'm quite realistic on where I think my chances are. So, yeah, if I have to play a really bad map, this is probably not where I'm going to be using my best build on, especially if it's like a one-time use build. Of course, if it's something map-specific, that changes things. Like if there's something that is only good on Equilibrium, then you do it on Equilibrium. But and then again, in TVZ also, I think standard games just kind of tend to be the thing that happens more often than not. So maybe it doesn't, you know, it doesn't quite work the same way as it does for Protoss matchups where build orders are just so important. But even if you do end up losing one of these games, like you look at a series ahead of time and you look at the maps, you kind of assign like percentages, or at least I do. It's like how good do I feel on this map, or how bad do I feel on this map? I think this is a map, like Equilibrium for Clem, that if he wins 10% of the time against Serral, I think he's going to be pretty happy with that percentage. So this really is in line of the expectations, I believe. And then Heartlet, I think, is less favored for Terran than Equilibrium is for Zerg. But it is still, we're looking at, like, I think Serral might get like a 20% win rate against someone like Clem, or maybe 15 or so on a map like this. So these are really the first 2 maps where I am fully expecting a 1-1 to pop out of here. But of course, this is not a guarantee. Like, there are things that Serral can do. It's like, hey, if he has a build here, if he has a style, or if he just gets a lead in the early game, like, these things can wildly swing that percentage around, of course. Where, for example, I had a cannon rush that I played against Raynor on Oceanborn in the regionals, where I think usually Oceanborn is like maybe a 20% map, and I think with that cannon rush, I probably should have had an 80% chance or so if it's the first time my opponent sees it of winning. Sadly, I forgot my second backup pylon, but if I had executed the build properly, I think my win percentage would have been very high with it in a first time use. So, you know, these types of things, they can really swing that percentage around, and it can really Like, that can really change a series in a big way. I think people often don't think about maps enough when they think about series. Like, but if Serral breaks on this particular map, that would be... Oh my god, are you serious? That was so sick. Oh my god, that was so nice. That's just really good control. Just freaking squeezing water out of stone. And he already squeezed water out of stone before. You know, he filled his bottle up, finished the bottle, and people were like, well, that stone is empty now. And then Clem's like, no, actually, there's a little bit left in that stone. This stone is not done yet. Freaking machine, man. But yeah, if Serral breaks on this particular map, he breaks Clem's map pick. I don't know if that's what we should call it. Is that what they call it in tennis, no? It's like a break game or a break set. It's when you break someone's serve. I think it's the same with map picks. Especially in best of 5. In best of 3 a little bit less because the maps are just closer. Ooh. Oh, you saw that? Clem was... yeah, he wanted something there. He wants something there. And Serral also wants something here. He built a lot of links. He's flooding them across the map. Clem, completely unaware. Doesn't have any Hellions at home. And here we freaking go. All right. SCV's in serious trouble here. This is a very good start for Serral, who's going to be taking out a bunch of workers. Hellions defensively. Overlord, well, kind of used as a magnet there. Link's not even going to get these kills. 7, 8 kills perhaps. Yeah. Oh, there's still one Link. Go. Look at this guy. He's not being spotted here. Gets another 2 kills or so. That was real nice. There's a couple more Links on the low ground here as well. 10 worker kills for the price of a mere 22 Links. Hellions were forced to stay at home. SCVs weren't mining. Now these Hellions need to be repaired. I think this was extremely worthwhile here for Serral. I do believe it. I think this was a very positive trade. We kind of see that percentage of this map now swinging ever so slightly. You know, that the pendulum moves a little bit in favor here of Serral. Let's come over here, son. Give me that 35% right now. Maybe 40, you know? This good. Barracks very late. Very, very late. That is kind of crazy. That really is kind of crazy. It's also somewhat messing up here when it comes to building his add-ons. I think perhaps initially the plan was to get tanks, and now says no. Instead, I'm just gonna get my my factory on a reactor. I want to get mines. If these Hellions can deal some damage, it would be big. It would be very important. Oh my god, there was a non-cancel there on that hatchery. Uncharacteristic mistake. Serral does not feel like this usually. That is a lot of money that was lost there. 225 minerals that you get back, as well as the drone. Now, maybe the drone would have still ended up dying anyway, but 225 minerals is serious cash. You shouldn't joke about this. Hellion is now moving in forward. Queen's not really in position, as Clem is dealing a sufficient amount of damage here. Saying that this map is so good for me. You can piss off, mate. Gets a couple of these drone kills. 3 drone kills, and forced all of the queens to the main, which allowed these Hellions to pop into the third, which forced away the drone. So, although there's not a whole lot of direct damage, I think that's what, minus 100, 120 of mining, worth of mining there. These drones were being pulled off. Hellions still looking for a run by. There's 20 Links out. A bunch of those are on the map. I don't think this base can go down, though. Both of the Banshees do survive. Clem is just... he's playing some good StarCraft, man. He's playing some good freaking StarCraft. Holy cow. And we have the 1-1 upgrades here being researched. Whoop. For both players, by the way. This hatch is under some heavy fire. Poof. There we go. There we go, buddy. 10 SCVs being taken out. Oh my god, this wasn't good at all for Serral. This was bad for Serral. This was bait. This was absolutely bait. This looked so good, but the Hellions were there waiting for this to happen. As the SCVs go down. But look at the supply. Look at the supply. Look at the lack of creep. Creep is a serious asset to have as well on this map. It's not easy to spread, of course, with all of these rams. Rams often make it easy for Terran to actually deny creep. Look at this army here that's on the right side. What does Serral have to fight this off? He has Baneling speed. That is huge. That is massive. But there's only 6 Banelings. And I know Clem's abilities, okay? I know what Clem is capable of. I know what this kid can do. He's waiting for combat shield. There's 6 banelings. Is that going to be enough? Halbert's in the front. Mines in the back. Marines kind of floating in between here. Going for a snipe on this overshare. Transfuses are good. Pick up in time. 10 more workers going down though behind this. Serral. In a pretty decent spot. Lacks the creep. Lacks the drone count. But Clem, no fort base yet. 8 minutes and 33 seconds into the game. Has started his +2. Both of his +2s. So did Serral though. This is nice. There's a couple of Banshees here actually pushing in some damage. That forces the Queens to rotate towards this side of the map as well, of course. That makes things difficult. Usually you can just split your Ling Bane army if there's no Banshees. But now with those Banshees still around, that forces the Queens to come out. It forces the Queens to come out of play. That means there's no Queens over here. Here comes an attack. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3, that's 4, that's 5! Every single Baneling there gets targeted down by Clem. Very solid control. At the same time, these Queens taking a lot of damage. Not sure what happened on the left side, but there's no Lings and Banes remaining. And I think that Clem here is taking a very significant lead. Keeping those Banshees alive for such a long time. This was a serious game changer. This was these 2 Banshees, they contribute so freaking much right now. Because these Queens, they're forced to stay over here. They need to defend this base against the Banshees. Because there is no other type of anti-air. There are no Hydras out on the map. This is a pure Ling Bane style. More Marines and Mines moving towards the far right. Serral needs to gamble right now. Where is he gonna go with his army? Where is he gonna go? Is it the left? Is it the right? It's gonna be the left. That means he might be out of position though when this army arrives. Mines now moving on to creep. They are being spread out properly. Look at that. I'm so fast at this. Baneling count. Is this snipeable? I think it's too many Banes. I don't think you can target those down with your Marines. The Mines are helping out as, yep, that's actually a lot of these Banes that just went down here. As, it's just pure Ling here into the 3rd base. So, oh, never mind, not pure Ling at all. Banelings moving in as well once more. Serral, that's significant damage. 72 workers to 47. And I don't want to say that Clem is all in here. But I think there is some serious pressure on him right now. He needs to deal damage. He needs to take out a base. These mines have not been cleared. Major blunder here by Serral. Of course, lots of things were happening, but this is really bad. That's gonna get 5 kills here. Yeah, these mines need to be cleared. These mines need to be cleared. They needed to be cleared 10, 15, 25 seconds ago. Another Ling run by here. Kicking off CC. If this gets cancelled, that is an absolutely huge thing, and it does get cancelled. Lings get to escape as well, which is also massive. Clem right now was in such a good spot, but not such a good spot anymore. Down in everything, really. Except, I guess, army. And he has faster upgrades coming in as well, but he needs to do something before those upgrades. Oh, that was a huge mine shot. Was that 31 kills? I think that's the biggest mine shot I've seen against Serral in the past 6 months. That was huge. That's freaking 15 supply in 1 shot. It's possible that was the 2nd shot, but I don't think so. That shot looked huge. You have a drop in towards the main base. Queen's not in position. There's 5 Queens. I don't know where they are. Must be running around somewhere. There's not enough units on the far right side either. Clem all of a sudden up 50 supply. As he walks in forward, splits these Marines. Banelings don't quite get the... These Marines, they walked into the Banelings and the Banelings didn't explode on top of them. That was real sick. Lovely playstyle here. Clem just dropped a bit of supply. Was up 50, now only up 25, but has managed to get back up there with the worker count. Has dealt enough damage. That was the most important thing. His fort base about to finish up. He's probably going to take it on the right side, I guess. Usually, I think we take the forward one as a Terran, but... it's not going to be the case here for Clem. He takes 2 more refineries. We've been doing this on 4 gas this entire time. That's wild. Marauder production started as the 8 Rex has finished up as well. Still have like legit 3 groups just flying around. It's so sick. It's so nice to watch this. I love this stuff. I really do. Can't stress enough there. Look how quick he is. He is so fast at this stuff. He is just so freaking fast when it comes to this micro, to these pickups, to everything really. This is going to get pushed back. 50 supply. We have a drop in the main. We have a drop behind the main. We have an attack over here at the 3rd. As these Banelings are just patrolling. Clem with the instant. He just doesn't lose his units. He just keeps picking them up. And if you never lose your units, that's a pretty big deal. Resources lost 17k to 10k. I think that tells a tale. And Serral had significantly more mining in this game. Serral has killed so many workers. 43. That is huge. Oh, here comes a big mine shot once again. Serral. Not paying attention to these little run bites today. As Queen's here under heavy fire. And I think this game might just be ending. 3 spots under attack at the same time. And I think Clem is going to be winning in at least one of these locations. Crap, I dropped the micro there for a sec. Lots of things happening. Oh, actually, 4 locations micro was necessary. And he messed up the most important one. These 2 Marines are still active. Gonna get the pick up, the lift up, and the drop down in the main base. As Serral taps out with a GG. And both players keep their initial imbalanced map pick. And here we move over to Alcyone. The gold base map that has been providing some pretty interesting games. I played a really sick game on it against Serral at Home Story Cup. Just an epic banger, also like freaking 30 minutes. Also played an insane game against Scarlet on it at the latest DreamHack Atlanta, where this game is from as well. Like legit insane in the... Yeah, I could cast that one as well, actually. That was really freaking sick. At least I found it very sick. I think it was like a 42-minute banger or so. Holy crap. Yeah, you just get these late games, but you know what the thing is with late games? Is that very often late games on certain maps, they tend to be quite boring. I think as on a lot of maps, rotations can be difficult to achieve something valuable. And... it's just kind of a split map scenario where then the people start training. But I feel like on this map, you're almost always just fighting over bases. Because there are so many bases and there's like different areas. I don't know, it always feels good. For the people who didn't realize, by the way, I also hadn't realized until now. This looks a little bit, the map, I'm just looking at the mini map here. It looks a little bit like the Michelin man. Like if you tilt your head to the left, by about what, 45 degrees or so. Kind of looks like that guy. Still find it surprising that we decided to outsource our food reviewing to a company that produces tires. But then again, I think there's weirder things in the world. I mean, we've outsourced our record keeping to a beer brand, freaking Guinness Book of World Records. It's also bad. These were nice books, by the way. I remember my uncle had it once. There's something special that I made. Like I love Wikipedia, you know, but I also thought there was something beautiful about just kind of browsing through an encyclopedia when I was younger. You know, you just kind of pop onto these weird little stories. It's like an intro to the subject. You know, I always felt that was so nice. Really, really quite cool. I haven't seen an encyclopedia in like years now. I bet my parents still have some though. Ask them for Christmas to bring one. See if I can learn some outdated information. An encyclopedia from like the 1980s. There is a wall! It will never come down! Oh no. Alright. We're watching StarCraft. There we go. Third command center in the main base. You have a starboard as well in the main base. You have a tech lab as well in the main base. Now my detective's nose tells me that this is going to be a bad thing. Could have also just been out liberating. Pure gamble. I believe that these builds are exactly the same when it comes to gas mining as well, the Liberator or the Banshee. I'm not entirely sure about that. Don't know if this is actually true. This could be fake news. I'll have to do some research into that. I'll write it down. Alright. Next time I'll have that information. It will be accurate. Next time. Oh, look at this. He's going around. Yeah, no shot. I feel like trying to get these wins versus Serral never works. Like he always has links ready. He's too safe. You know, he's too safe. You do this against me, it always works. I always have. It's like I look at this and I think to myself, that could have been 6 drones. That would be real good. Then lose 15 drones to 2 cars and a Reaper. But imagine how much worse it would have been, you know, if I didn't have those 6 extra drones. Because even if I have the links, I still lose the drones to the cars. So That's just the reality of my Zerg. Always out of position with everything. That's life, I guess. Serral using them as one group here. For a very long time, I think we've seen Zergs just always split up their queens in 2 groups. Making it easy to always be ready against Hellions. But Serral here saying, hey, I'm so freaking fast. I can just track your Hellions with just my queens. And that is indeed the case. Or at least that seems to be the case so far. There's not enough creep yet to make that rotation quick enough. But now I think it will be. Spore in the main base. Can I inject it? Poof, there you go. Deal. Wait, what? Did you build 3 random roaches? Yikes. God, this looks ugly. Freaking hate roaches. As a defensive unit, they just feel wank, honestly. They really do. 4 more gas on the way? Huh? So he's going up to 6 gas. Oh, he's actually playing roach. It was... Huh? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm really confused. This is such an uncommon setup. So usually we see people wanting to get quick roaches so that they can skip link speed. But here we see link speed into kind of latest roaches. He's not sure yet because he cancelled the range, or maybe just prefers this. The carapace first. Now it's gonna be roach. It's gonna be range upgrades, right? Yeah. We have the fast infestation pit, and this particular style is known as the cave bob, which is a style that has been popularized by Dark. Well, actually, it hadn't really been popularized. It was played by Dark. No one else did it. It never was popular. And lately, Serral has been kind of dabbling in it. It plays it a little different from Dark, but does play it. And it tacks into a really quick hive, allows him to get fast lurkers out. And we've seen him use those lurkers in different ways. So I think we've seen drop, we've seen Nidus attacks, or just straight up just kind of queen lurker fights. Almost as kind of like a hive all-in, but also with high drones. So it's not really all-in. But the thing that is very difficult, and that is something that you need to realize as a viewer, as well as if you are a Terran player playing against it and it feels very broken, is that the lurkers are not a late game composition. Like in the late game, you're using banelings. You need banelings. So if you don't open with banelings, you're still going to need to make that transition at some point into those melee upgrades. And that can be quite expensive. This is a good scan. No, it's not. This is an interesting scan. Because it misses the Hydra then and the Lurker then. But it sees a lot of roaches and it sees a quick hive. I think Clem has the ability to figure out what's going on here. I really do believe that. I don't think he looks at it as like, oh, I'm so confused. He knows exactly what's going on. Theoretically, Clem is very strong. And he also is mechanically. But don't forget, StarCraft really is a game of strategy. Decision making is so important. And he knows what to do in a lot of situations. Well, here, the correct thing to do probably was to lift that depot. This is a serious Ling run by the way. This is going to clear a lot of workers, but I'm not even sure if that's the most important thing. It also delays the push out. Well, that's not even true. That is a lie. That's a bald-faced lie here. It doesn't delay this push-out, actually. Clem splitting off the units, not using the F2 here. I think a lot of lazy Terran players there would have just F2'd back home, delaying this push-out by, what, maybe 30 seconds and allowing Seismic Spines to finish up. That is not the case here. There is a lurker in position, but there are also tanks. Vipers now popping out. They don't have the energy yet. The fact that Clem continued pushing rather than pulling everything back is a huge deal. That makes this push actually scary, rather than this game just being straight up over. Tank just being abducted though. Still going to be freaking difficult here. It's going to be difficult for Clem. He can't attack into this. He just can't. It is not possible anymore. Seismic is about to finish up as well. He's eyeing it though. You see that? He's looking at it. He's sniffing. He's darting. He's bopping, weaving. Doing all these moves, which I don't know what they mean, but I know it's good. He's just looking for an angle. In any angle. First few Vikings coming out. This is the Viking in TVZ is an anti-air unit that you don't really want often. Like when you think of the Viking, it is a it is really just kind of fighting from weakness. It's like a transition to, it's like, oh, I have nothing against Vipers yet, which shouldn't be the case. Once Vipers are out, Terran should be ready for them. But if you're not ready, you can just get a couple of Vikings, and then you're somewhat ready. But you're investing quite some supply into those Vikings, like maybe, and also some Starport players. Maybe you want them to be Liberators, you know? If you have Ghost, you can just go Ghost Liberator, and boom, you got your late game composition here. But now I need those Vikings first, and it sucks. It's not nice. It's just not nice. This is a big attack here. There's a lot of roaches. That is a lot of roaches. And that also was a lot of roaches that went down there. Resources lost, a little bit favored for Clem. Who is set up, by the way. I really thought this was much worse for Clem after that Ling run by. It's so funny when you look at these types of interactions. Because I think, like, out of the professional Terrans, there are very little Terrans that would have dealt with that Ling run by as well. And it's such a small thing, you know? This game would be over versus a lot of other Terrans. What the hell is this? What is this? He knows. He must have seen Overlord speed. He must have seen Overlord speed. This makes no sense. Serral a little bit too quick there with the return into all of that. Yeah, this is gonna get taken out. That was huge. There was nothing ready for this. Nothing ready for this. Is there a Nidus network with this? No, there wasn't. That's a big deal. Now we get that Nidus network. Okay, that's cool. Wow. That was freaking scary though, wasn't it? That was freaking scary. Three on the way. Hey, this is also one of those things where it's like, I think we've already had 2 situations now in which a lot of professional Terran players would have just died. Like the game would be over. And although Clem didn't necessarily gain anything, just the fact that he stayed alive is just freaking impressive, you know? I often compliment myself on things like that as well. It's like, yeah, sure, I went 0-3, but stayed alive for 12.5 minutes. I've seen people die at the 8-minute mark. You know, sometimes things can feel good. They really can. Even if you end up losing. As Serral doesn't really tend to lose late game very much, and it looks to me like that's where we're heading. We have 4 more command centers on the way. Is that a second? No, that's a 3rd starboard already. As well as a fusion core. That's about to finish up. Okay. 1 Baneling here being taken out. Perhaps 2. Lightning Cloud disappears away from the map. I wonder where it goes. Like, it's such a thick green mist for a little bit, and then it just disappears instantly. I wish there was an animation for that. It kind of flies to the sky. Like, poops away towards the sides or something, or gets sucked into the ground. I don't know, I just wish there was something there. It just kind of disappears. It ceases to exist. Vikings dealing with a Nidus network. Decent thing. Oh. Tank's gonna get taken out. Clem moving in. Oh, sorry, Clem actually moving back. It's Serral that's trying to move in. Clem immediately replaces that tank. Tells a new one. Welcome aboard, brother. This looks like a really good spot. Look at that, you're protected by the rocks. He's like, what happened to my predecessor? Nah, don't worry about that. The guy before you loved what he did, alright? Let's just say it like that. Alright. He looks over the rocks. He's like the carcass of the tank over here. I don't know. Advanced Ballistics is on the way here. A couple of lips as well. This is not a fight, I think, that Serral can take. Not without Vipers, right? That seems silly. Yeah, definitely not. Nidus network going up in the main, though. That doesn't seem silly at all. This was all fake. This was all fake. He was not just distracting me, he was distracting Clem as well at the same time. Look at that, Serral. Big plays. Liberator gonna clean this up real fast though. Clem not really struggling with this at all. Loses 6 workers. Not the end of the world. At the same time though, this base, unless from heavy fire, is gonna get taken out. There is a new command center already available. Resources lost 14k to 9k, 110. It always looks so silly on the production tab when there's a 3-digit number. You only have that with Zerg, of course. You have like freaking 120 links being produced at the same time. It looks very funny. At least to me, it looks kind of funny. Not very funny, but regular funny. Vehicle weapons level 2 completed. 6 libs on the way out. Gonna bring a total up to 10. A couple of tanks as well here. Ship weapons, vehicle plating. Blah, blah, blah. Caduceus reactor. Increases the energy regeneration rate of medevacs by 100%. That is a very decent number. That really is. We'll have a bit of an attack here. The base is toast, isn't it? Yeah, that is most definitely toast. That base is at 100% toast. That is getting as well. Boom. Destroy it. 3 more Vipers on the way. Serral here. Conservative in his expanding. Like, not taking this base yet. Not taking this base either. And that's important because so far Clem with significantly better trades, with plenty of bank as well, in a good defensive position. So although it doesn't feel necessarily bad for Serral, it definitely doesn't feel good. Like he needs to either start mining this base, or he needs to, like, this is it, you know, like this gold base and this right one, like he'll just need to keep pouncing when Clem tries to take it, which is possible. I'm not saying that is impossible. I'm just like, this is the reality of things. And I really would prefer if Serral at least tries to mine some gas from here. You know what I think? It might even be worth it to put a hatch over here, so that's outside of range of the watchtower. Just put a hatch here and start long distance mining from this gas. Because it's a rich Vespine geyser, it still empties real quick. If you take away 2250 gas from your opponent, that means all of a sudden you're up 4.5k gas. Like, that is a huge deal. And gas for Zerg is almost always the limiting factor in the late game, because they have so many gas units. Greater Spire on the way. What's the... Okay, +1. Just +1. That means he can't transition into Brutes quite yet. It's not possible against 3-3 units. I don't think so, at least. You need better upgrades. Although, of course, a lot of damage tends to come from the Broodlings as well. Lurkers here moving around. Oh, Lip's gonna get eaten. Planetary getting home. Second planetary though. Yeah, that's big, but not getting owned. That's a big deal. That's a big deal because that stabilizes Clem on this position. There was no backup command center. There was one about to finish up, but it's still 30-40 seconds away. If this planetary dies, all of a sudden this angle is very viable for Serral to attack, and he might even be capable of pushing this back completely. That means that this base becomes easier for Serral to mine, because right now, the moment Serral tries to take this base, you're just gonna have a tank positioned over here, like a Liberator, like from the back. Or like an 8 Marine drop just heading over there. Like, all of these things I think are very standard. Yeah, there's really not that much that Serral can do about that. This base maybe was a little bit more reasonable to take. Serral also decided not to go for that. So we now have Neural on the way. We have +2 range. Yeah, 16 what? 16 Liberators. That's a lot of Liberators. That really is a lot of Liberators. There's a bunch of Lurkers out here. 16! Alright. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see what that brings us. That's significant. We have, what is that, 6 dips moving over here. We'll be taking out some of these Lurkers. Oh, there's just vision. I'm unaware of that. There's one more Lurker remaining. Clem almost never, you know, leaves something on his play. He always finishes his play. There's one more Lurker on the plate. Not really hungry anymore, Dad. That's a nonsense. We gotta clean up the plate. Clear the final Lurker as well. Doesn't let them be. Doesn't let them be. Kind of waiting for that investor transition right now, because we are in a phase where Serral is trying to push forward. Like, he's kind of ping-ponging between sides here with these Lurkers and these Night Assists. This is a dead Oracle, by the way. I've never seen one. Oh! He distracted it by walking into the Lurker fire with the Ghost. That was a A wild play. Orbital gets to stay alive. We have a new Nidus on the way. Oh, never mind. You died. Adios, my dear friend. There are a bunch of Vikings coming in right now. We're up to 6 already. I have to deal with the Vipers. Yes, Hydas are dealing with these lips as well. I don't think we're gonna take out the base. It's nice. Trade-wise, though. Okay, so there's so many lips. There's just a crazy amount of liberators. Yeah, okay. 12 corruptors now. I was just thinking, I really wonder what Zerg is supposed to do against it. But corruptors does make a lot of sense. Like, you probably do want some corruptors against this. Yeah, of course you do. That is a very sensible play in my mind. Very cool. Liberator now sieging up. Well, not just one. It's like every Liberator sieging up. Some of them are overlapping. That makes Parasitic Bomb just a bit stronger. Of course, Vikings here. This is an extraordinary amount of Vikings that we usually don't quite see. There's 8 out, with a 9th on the way. Ship up and stuff too. About to finish up. This is a huge round here on the Ghost, but we do get the pickup. As the Vikings get the kite a little bit, but Corrupts are quite strong as well. No Parasitic Bomb available. At least the Vipers just decided to go back home. So now Serral's trying to mine this base. This almost seems naive in a way. Can't really fight that. Maybe it doesn't matter though. He's just dealing so much damage. Still not mining this base either. I really think he had a decent chance of mining this, at least for a little bit. He's trying to go over here right now. Clem needs to deal with that. I mean, sending over a tank and a lip. I mean, there's both of these units are here already, so I don't think this base has much of a future, really. I don't believe it. I don't buy it. Don't believe the hype. Oh, Fungal Boy here. Oh, Fungal Boy. Oh, Fungal Boy. Can you throw your fungal on the Ghost? Hey, yes, yeah, you can. Banelings? Not in time with the connections, though. Freaking close, but not close enough. Almost got all of these connections. Turrets helping out quite a bit. Snipes now going down on these Corruptors. 5-6 do end up falling. Liberators on siege. This fight was quite okay for Clem. This fight, it looked really bad. But it wasn't. I don't think this was bad for Clem at all. Not a huge fan of the move out that's coming in here. He knows he has a little bit of time at least before all the, well, the next wave of units is there. There's not enough larva. Wait, this might actually work. Clem wants 63 supply against 140. As this is the first time ever I've seen Serral really seriously be out of larva. He's injecting all of his bases right now with the 3 queens that he still has. He's just kind of roaming around. Liberator being sent out. There's 8 corruptors. What? We have 18 Vikings with 4 more on the way. I guess a Broodlord transition is going to not be very viable. Is that what he's doing here? He's saying, hey, if you get Brutes, I have so many Vikings already. That is not possible for you. But I mean, you usually fight Viking with Brutes anyway, no? You have your Infestor, Viper, Corruptor army, and it's kind of okay. I wonder if you can completely ignore the air at this point of your Serral. Because Serral is kind of playing into this, you know? Because Serral is matching that air unit count with Corruptors. Is that the correct play here? I'm not entirely sure if it is. It's so hard to say. Because if you don't deal with the Vikings, your Vipers are practically useless, right? They can never come into position, ever. Your Overseers are going to get sniped, which means that these Ghosts with Cloak are going to be very hard to catch as well. You'll be relying purely on Fungals for detection, and Fungals, well, they aren't great. However, if you have a pure ground army, don't you just kind of walk in there and win? Yeah, it doesn't have drilling falls? Oh, yeah, he's just now researching. Oh, that's a crazy timing. He realized at the same time that I did. He's like, wait a second, those mines burrowed a little bit too slow. That's not okay. It really wasn't. That's a lot of Vikings here. Look at that. You don't really have ground coverage. Okay, we get a Parasitic Bomb. Like, that's great, honestly. Oh, Infestors. It's almost being taken out by the Liberator there. Not quite the case. A Corruptor Viper seems fine against this. I don't think I've ever seen this amount of Vikings against a non-Broodlord army in my entire life. All these Vikings need to be repaired as well right now. I mean, the one Viper did end up falling. This base is in some trouble. I think this was probably the best fight that Serral has had in a while. Could be wrong about that though. Infestor still lurking around, so he's gonna get taken out. We have 11 Corruptors still remaining. Oh, does hit there on the air unit. So now the Corruptors come in to try and finish the job. There's still 16 Vikings though. Like, they're just owning these Corruptors, and there's just no Overseers. The Ghosts stay alive with Cloak. This is something that you would read on Reddit. Hey guys, I'm a Platinum 2 Zerg player. Or Platinum 2, yeah, Platinum 2 Zerg. And my opponent keeps sniping my Overseers, and I can't kill the Ghost and the Mines. And there's like 10 guys telling him he's a moron, you know, to end himself. They're like, well, that's a bit rude, but... I mean, I probably would have had a similar sentiment until I saw this game. Like, this is legitimately a diamond or platinum level strategy. It's just snipe the detection. Like, this is how I won games in 2012. That seems to be the entire game plan here for Clem. Is this a viable late game? A viable plan in late game? I'm not quite sure. Here we go. It's a lot of ghosts. There's really no backup though. But Overseers here just being taken out. He cloaks. He just cloaks. And now he splits, and you're not gonna get these efficient trades. It's not possible. Because you can't hit them. You can't hit them when they're cloaked. This is ridiculous. I'm not even sure how good of a fight this was, but I think resource loss-wise, that was pretty freaking good, wasn't it? Yeah. Serral is just dropping in supply heavily. I'm still trying to mine from this base. It's getting something here. But something isn't enough. I mean, this tank is technically in range, just doesn't quite see the hatchery. It doesn't know that I can shoot it. I know you're there. I know you're there. Can't hit you. Just hitting the larva every time. That's why there's so much damage on this. Because when the larva spawns, the tank sees it. This is so stupid. The larva's about to... Look at this. With this splash damage. This is the sickest way for a hatchery that I... Okay, here we go. Reorganize the lip. Ooh, that's a big fungal here on the bottom side. Let's get the pickup in time though. Bailey's not forward enough as Clem's gonna get broken. Actually, yeah, well, he does get broken this time. Holy crap. Vikings not quite fighting anymore. They've all half died right now. Overseers do end up falling. Once again, the Cloakers stay alive. This was a good fight though. This was a really nice fight here for Serral. So he takes this out. Army supply 105 versus 78. Tries to burrow a couple of lings. I mean, manages to burrow them, but they do get taken out. Ghost count at 8. 6 Liberators out. Corruptor count is at 13. Funnily enough right now is that probably Clem's army is actually better in a way. Because there's so much supplying Corruptors. And Corruptors just don't do anything. This is a big fun. Wow, that's huge. Okay, Corruptors will take out all of these area units actually. Oh, never mind. Oh, they're making themselves real useful. Oh, what a terrible way to go here for Clem. As he's half his opponent's supply right now. He's gonna get taken out here. With 6 ghosts still remaining, but yeah, another fungal does connect. These fungals have been very big. A couple of Corruptors will fall. Liberators going down as well. Serral diving quite deep here into no man's land. There's no reason really to be out here. I want to say attacking into sieged up positions like that. There's no mining on this base. There's no mining on that base. As long as Clem doesn't try taking this, I think Serral doesn't need to go there. I don't believe that Serral has to. As Clem now pivots towards the top left, some minerals have been mined, some gas has been mined, but largely this base is still intact. And the moment we see this rotation, by the way, here towards the top left side, Serral should be considering taking this base. Because this base you can take as Terran and you can deny if the Zerg takes it. But this one, I think is actually free for Serral. So, although this is a good play out of Clem, because it's harder to attack into this area. Look how many mules it is. Oh my god. Look at the income. Freaking 9 workers. He's mining 2,300 minerals. He's outmined. He's like doubling his opponent's income. He's on 34 workers. Very normal. Oh! Oh! Wow. Some big hits there on those mines. Not great play coming out of Serral. Not great play at all coming out of Serral. Wow. Surprisingly so, how poor that control was. Lost a lot of units there. Income fairly close. But every second that goes by while this base is mining is a very bad second for Serral. So I really need to start thinking about this bottom right side base. Corruptor's now moving in forward. No mines to help out. Here we go. Starts pooping on the command center. Is that fault? Nah. Oh. Oh. That was close. There's another orbital though. As a fungal's going to connect with a ghost and a mine. Overseer gets taken out, one of them. These tank positions are insane. 43 kills. For 35 and 19. This guy in the back is a little bit safer perhaps. Hello? This is insane, no? Hello? What? What's this orbital there for free? I mean, there still should be plenty to resolve that problem. Serral's just trying to deny this base from mining. I almost think that Serral's forgetting about this bottom side. Okay, no, he just unburrowed here. There's probably a reason for that. Come on, take it. Really needs that hatch. Can't stress enough how badly he needs that hatch. Needs to start mining for more bases. This base is about to mine out. This base practically mined out. Some minor oversaturation on this one as well. Do you need Vipers against this? Is that the only thing you can do? Look at 55 kills here. 48 kills. This base is just covered. 29 kills on this tank in the back right now. As once again mules drop. And when these mules drop, that means that you're adding what? Like freaking 28 Marines a minute or so. More. And like 40 Marines a minute. See, that's not an army Serral can deal with. He can't deal with 40 Marines a minute. And it's not just going to be Marines, of course. There's going to be some Marauders in there as well. I think a turret here would be smart. A turret here. Because really the only way you're losing fights is against those fungals, mate. These burrowed fungals, they can hurt you. They're really good. Serral just roaming around here with a Corruptor Force. Mine's gonna connect. Kills the... No, doesn't kill it. Close though. Instantly. This is the type of stuff. And Clem as well, right? Just realizes he's being spotted and tries to run it away. Like, the level that these guys are acting on is just so much higher than a lot of the other players. Even if there are people that can take them out, it's like the reason that these guys are so consistent is because they are so fast. Like, they just are so freaking fast. Hey, that is crazy to me, how quick they are. This base now is starting serious mining before it hadn't yet. 8 Marine drop moving in. That's painful. There's nothing ready here yet. Should probably be an Ultra burrow. And the moment Marine drop... The noise of an Ultra when he eats Marines. Like a Marine scream behind it. That is also a fine way to deal with it, by the way. A little bit of damage though on that, isn't it? Raptors take care of it. You could wonder, it's like, hey, is this actually good though for Serral? Because this base is going to get mined out much faster. Right? This is A, Rich Vespine, B, Mules. So we're looking at a situation here where it's like, well, if Clem mines this base and then pivots attention back to the bottom side, what's a Zerg to do, you know? What's a Zerg to do? Can Serral say, hey, screw your left side base and I'm just going to defend this with Infestor Broodlord or something? Is that possible? Don't think it is. I just don't think there's enough money. He can't transition into Broodlords anymore. It's just not possible. And technically, he has the Corruptors already. EMP almost connects with something. Might have hit like one Infestor or something. It's not good enough. It really isn't. Ultra is going to get taken out. We'll survive for now. I mean, I think Serral needs to accept that this base just can't be stopped. I think that's something Serral really needs to accept right now. That base is Clem's. And it will always be Clem's. And I think this is something that we should realize. If you can't break this area, then this base, it's not realistic. Your trades there will be so bad. So this is the only part of the map right now that matters. And this is also the part of the map where I don't think Serral has enough. Look how far this army goes back. There's like 4 medevacs, by the way. It's too little. It's 46 Marines. 15 Marauders, 4 Ghosts. Don't forget that a lot of this army is still corruptors as well, which are, well, practically useless. I really wonder how you want to engage into this if you're Clem. Because this base is starting to mine out. There's what? 3k more minerals in there? There's way more up here. Where's the queens? Need some transfuses on this base. Serral starts out mining his opponent right now. He's losing units. Can we get a fungal? Go in. He goes in. He goes in. He goes very deep. Oh. Ugh. Supplies look close, but they really aren't. There's 66 versus 111. 9 corruptors still in the air. I think this is it. Whoa. What a terrible fight that was. I don't think he realized how much cash there was for Clem. Clem was pretty much done here on this side. Serral, I guess, felt the pressure on that base, but wow. And now, I mean, now we're in a scenario where both players have mined fairly similar amounts. Serral, yes, is still mining from here, but Clem can just float an orbital into this location. That's such a huge benefit, by the way, in the late game. Is that these orbitals that you've all built earlier are still just around. Oh, this time the CC is going to die. I love this corruptor attack. I freaking love it. That is actually kind of big. Serral here denying this base is actually kind of big. Because that is telling Clem that action needs to be taken. Oh my god, there's another fungal boy here. Oh, we get a scan. We get a scan. Can we get a fungal? No, we can't. Two infestors. This one. Hello? No. Doesn't dare on boarding. I just don't think he has enough forces. Or maybe he doesn't think he has enough forces. Here it comes. Because the fungal of a lifetime is not good enough. It's not good enough. GG gets called. And Clem takes game number 3 after 36 minutes and 33 seconds of insane TVZ action. Holy crap. I can't believe how many Vikings Clem made. That still is such a wild thing to me. Is just that Viking focused style. I don't think I've ever seen that before in the late game. Like this at all. I'm also not quite sure what to think about it. It really does feel like, I mean, it is powerful in a way, but at the same time, it's like his ground army is so small. But then how do you utilize that if you can't clear the ghost? Because there's always cloak available, right? So you go in there, you tank like 5 mine shots, you lose your overseers, and you don't have anti-air. I think the best thing to do is probably just to... because you're not really thinking very much, or you shouldn't probably be thinking very much about cost efficiency, but more about supply efficiency. So I wonder what happens if you just kind of get 4 or 5 Vipers and you send them in like 1 by 1. Like either using to abduct like 2-3 Vikings or just parasitic bombing, you know? It's like a more Hydra Lingbane Viper style. Like, can you transition into that against so many Vikings? I wonder if that's possible. And also, we shouldn't forget that rotations are really strong against this. Like, if you have like a Hydra Lingbane Viper rotation, it means that Liberator counts and mine counts and tank counts need to be split in a way. Oh, this guy's cute. Look at his dance. Look at his dance, as the Brits would say. Look at him dance. Oh my god. Serral's the better dancer. Hey, he gets it all, man. It's unbelievable. Gets a 3rd hatch. Oceanborn, the only map, I think, in the current map pool where there's only one viable 3rd base for Zerg. And thus this is often something we see on this map, where you have this kind of dance between the SCV plus Reaper versus Queen plus Drone. It's a move. It's alright. I can deal with it. Double Overlords coming out right now. Huge supply block here for Serral otherwise. I think this was on purpose though. There's some builds in ZVT that require a supply block at 44. I don't know if this was one of them. Maybe he actually made a mistake. That's the thing about Serral though, is he makes so little mistakes that even when he makes one, I'll just make up an excuse for him. It's like, oh, that's a part of the build, guys. Don't worry about it. He's really good. Serral gets a supply block like that. This guy's really cool. Don't worry about that, bud. Yeah, that's usually how it works. And the good get better. You know, they get more hyped. And the bad, they get worse. So even when I make a good play, people are like, oh, that's probably a mistake. That seems terrible. Because Harstem never makes good moves. That means that his next move is also going to be bad. You know, it's like, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Even if it isn't true. People make it a self-fulfilling prophecy. Triple CC going out of Clem here. As we have a 2-on-1-ish setup. Clem is pretending like he didn't have a starport. If Serral fell for this, he probably suffered some serious brain trauma in the past few days. I mean, you see a reactor being constructed on a factory. I think you know what's kicking up. I just feel like he might have a clue as to what is going on, yeah. Throws out 12 more drones here. Yeah, you can't trick Serral, what do you think? What do you think this is, Clem? Huh? Elementary school? Maybe back then you could have tricked Serral. Not here, mate. It's the big boys league. No shot. Serral doesn't get tricked. 5 more drones on the way. Evo chamber as well. Single Evo chamber, I think this is, right? I believe I saw a roach warren too somewhere. Yeah, not making that up. Not making that up at all. So 6 roaches here coming out of 61 drones. Let's see where Clem is heading. Let's see where Clem is heading. Fixed him forward. Tries to go for a fort base here. Takes out one queen. That's a wild prediction. I said it before he died. I thought he would be dead already by the time I'd finished my sentence, but that's not really what happened. The bit of a ling run by is all here hitting the 3rd base. Infestation pit bailing nest. This is something that we've seen Serral do. I watched it. Was it against Beyond the other day? Was there like these roach openers into these Ling Bane styles? I guess we saw it already in this series as well. I want to say it was game 1 or game 2 that he did it. I can't even recall. Such a poor memory. Ling run by here coming in. Tank on the high ground though will help keep these workers alive. The tank is huge. This is huge. Tank really helped out here. Double Medifex haven't been capable of dealing the damage, but neither has Serral. Serral's now moving into hive tech. Bailing speed, roach speed. 8 more drones. 86 workers total. That means that a 5th base is imminent. Gonna be seeing some serious oversaturation otherwise. Look at this. These patches running out. 200 minerals remaining per patch. Means we're gonna be oversaturating with about 8 workers. It's going up to 8 gas already, by the way, which is very high. Almost get a lurkery vibe there, but instead we're seeing an infestor being kind of thrown in there. Spore up top. It's gonna get a couple of shots in. Nice. Kind of denies the movement in towards the main as well as the movement towards this fort base. So spores here actually have, well, double or triple value, because if you can keep this dead space empty, that's freaking massive. Yeah, it's a very big deal. It really is. Hive now about to finish up. You have a 5th base as well coming in. Couple of Marines moving in forward. Love to see it. Marines moving in over here at the 5th. If this 5th gets denied, that would be quite bad. I mentioned it before, but there's just simply not going to be enough stuff here. There's just not going to be enough mineral patches to mine from, which obviously would suck. Ultralisk Cavern right now, starting. That is nice for Serral. I just kind of... This 5th base is... Yeah, this is an issue. This is a serious issue. Link's dying as well right now. It also just feels like Clem has kind of figured out positions on this map, or just on all maps. Like, we're seeing these constant drop-ins and pickups and elevators. Like these, it is often these very small moves that are hard to deal with. When you have a quicker, aggressive rotation than a defensive rotation, a Zerg player needs to send an insane amount of resources or assets to deal with something that has very little value supply-wise, right? So this left side over here, like, look how much units are needed to deal with this threat already. And on top of that, you probably also... I think a spore wall here would not be crazy. I think this is almost a necessity, actually, a spore wall here. But then again, you can clear some spores maybe from the low ground. Not having spores here, I think, is a huge mistake that Serral is making right now. And this is one of those things, if you hadn't played against it before, you don't realize it. Like, Serral's watching this game in the replay, like, oh yeah, I should probably put some spores here. You know, because now he's just constantly running around. He's losing the links, and then the units that can actually fight come in, picks up and drops again. So, and this type of dropping and picking is like resources lost. This really adds up. And also, it just means that if you're too late once, you're going to be losing 5, 6, 7 drones, or you're going to lose your hatch. Or you're forced into keeping double the supply of your opponent if you want to split, you know? So there's just really no good answers to this except static defense. Static defense doesn't cost supply. Oh, Blinding Cloud plus Parasitic here is huge. As Medivacs do split away, or at least the Medivacs with units split away, but this is one Medivac that goes down, perhaps 3 more? No, they're all in the red. Not quite that though. Biles do hit here on those Liberators. Three more command centers on the way. Tank heavy style here, out of Clem. Not just relying on these mines. Snipes 1 Bane picks up. Left side seems to finally be secure here. The right side is also mining. 91 drones for Serral, who I think wants to make something happen here. Another thing that I've really been liking out of Clem, by the way, is that he uses those orbitals as map editors, basically. So very often we see orbitals just kind of randomly sprawl around the map. This large urban sprawl of orbitals and command centers and other garbage. He kind of uses them as blocking tools here, as massive force fields. They don't really want to burst banelings into them either. Makes it difficult for these Banes to really do something. Here comes a planetary. This planetary is dead. It's gone. Alright, 12 workers will fall with it. A large portion of Serral's army also will die. Chitinous plating was done, but Carapace level 3 wasn't quite. There's plenty of cash though in the bank here for Serral. We're once again just kind of crawling towards that late game. So we have some Vikings on the way. We saw what they could do last game. Wonder if we're gonna see it again. I don't think so. Maybe this map isn't as good for it either. It's an Infestor moves in forward. Don't forget, you can actually see that, by the way, on the map. You see the Infestor move. Yeah, we're gonna see a scan. It's very obvious on this map as well because the white tile set. Liberator moving over towards the left side. Triple drop heading far right as well. Lots of drone damage here being dealt. And it's not just the drone damage that is hurting here for Serral. It's the fact that he's busy chasing stuff. You know? Oh, double Vipers going down. Because that means that Serral can't actually do anything right now. He wants to be killing this base 7 times, you know? He wants to run in there again with 35 banelings and say adios. Like, he wants to delete that base for the next 10 minutes. And that's not happening here at all. Instead, it is Clem who's doing the deleting of bases. It's so hard to take extra bases on this map for both races, by the way. Look how vulnerable this position is. Like that is a crazy thing. And the same with this. Like, it's so open. I think you need a planetary here or something, or like a planetary. Like, you need like these steps, like the missing link in between this area and this area. I think like just a random planetary. As we see. It's an insane urban sprawl here, out of Clem. Centers moving further and further out on the map. No real city center here for this bad boy. As, Wait, there's a planetary here? I haven't seen that, holy crap. Okay, yeah, I mean, that definitely did help. Makes it hard for Serral really to get in there. Serral thought he could walk up. I almost feel like he went a bit too deep there. And maybe the focus really should just have been on denying this 5th before it can set up. So you force the opponent kind of away into the corner, you know? You just move units towards the right, start attacking this base, and then you force Clem to commit to a position or to let the base die. I feel like that might have been a better call here than chasing him up the ramp. Although, if he would have won there, I would have said that it was brilliant. So take everything I say with a grain of salt. 2 more planetaries on the way. Okay, oh, look at that. He's just very slowly pushing with planetaries right now. A much more defensive Clem, perhaps, than we've seen in the past. Comfortable in the late game here, in those very late game scenarios. The one thing we haven't really seen yet, though, is Serral trying to transition into Infestor Broodlord. The Infestor Broodlord is a comp that often can trade very well. And we've often seen trade very well against someone like Clem. Both Dark and Serral very capable of that. I think the only two players that are very capable of that very late game Infestor Brood stuff. So strong when it comes to it. Planetary is up. As we see the ocean-born sea monster just kind of running around. Follow his shadow for a little bit while nothing's going on. Look at him go. Phew. Waiting to strike, but never really striking. I heard the ocean-born monster is a vegetarian. Only eats kelp the entire time. Disgusting. Alright. Space is toast, I think. Oh, never mind. Maybe. Ooh, not enough base here to take out this base. Ultras need the final hit. Yeah, we'll take it out, but there's a new command center already ready to take its place. Not a great fight. I don't think it was. I really don't think it was for Serral. A couple of Vikings in the air. Yeah, not that many. Definitely a couple, though. So, once again, more command centers here being added in. Clem now taking an aggressive posture here on the map. Way further forward than I thought he could go. Ooh, there's 3 ultras extremely damaged, like half a snipe away. One of these ghosts sneezes in the direction of these ultras and they fall over. Tanks will get taken out though. Yes, the Infestor wasn't in time for a fungal. Here we go. Now perhaps. Now perhaps. Perhaps now. Here we go. Nah. Doesn't quite have the tanking ability there. So we have 4 random... I'm not quite sure how these guys got here, but must have boosted through something. Yes, going towards the third. It's a wild play, huh? Literally a wild little play. Parasitic bombs. Yeah, gotta be kind of big here. Yeah, I think Clem knows what's coming for him. He's winning some time, though. He's definitely winning some time. Once again, we should be focusing on these bases. You know, it's like, where is Serral going to take one of his opponent's bases? We're once again kind of just crawling into the late game right now. It's not happening fast, but it is happening. And that's just the reality of things here, I think. I do believe that. Will that medevac actually die? I don't think it will, yeah. Barely stays alive, but he's gonna be stuck here in between a rock and a sea monster. It's not quite where you want to be. Advanced ballistic, that's research. We have, once again, the air attacks coming out, but no greater spire quite yet. Okay, here it comes. Instantly start. I think that's a correct call. I really think that is the correct call, actually. He's just barely out of range, by the way. Serral not aware of that turret. Just an instinct knows where those turrets are going to be placed. It's pretty wild. Actually, it's pretty wild. Go. Gets the parasitic. Gets back to suckling energy away from these hatcheries. Queen count at 3. Upgrades 3, 3, 1. A little bit of a fight in the middle. Big fungal actually connect, or big. Yeah, I mean, why not? It was pretty big. This base is absolutely secure. This base, yeah, kind of feels secure. And I think with the way that Clem is playing, is like Greater Spire, I think, is a brilliant call here. I really believe that Broodlords are the only thing you can really do in these types of scenarios. And we just have such a heavy turtle mode coming out of Clem, and this is something that is provoking. This provokes Clem. This should provoke Clem, because this is saying, "Hey, I'm taking your base." There is no direct way to get that, by the way. Like, to stop that base, you're going to need to use Bioforces to deal with that for now. And Bioforces can be dealt with this Ultra Ling Bane army. And at the same time, Serral still believes that he has the ability to clear this one. That I'm not entirely sure about. This Clem is taking his sweet freaking time over here. Look at this. Sends in a command center, turns it into a planetary. And that means... we have planetaries going all the way back. Liberators and tanks going all the way back. Turrets being set up absolutely everywhere. Serral's late with the gas mining on this base. You know what could happen here? Is that Clem just pushes... like, if he gets tanks and liberators everywhere, is that this base is toast. And then Clem doesn't even need to think about getting this base, really. He can just think about Serral not getting this one. And that should be enough. Okay, so we get that scan on that left side as well here, out of Clem. Sees it. Knows what's kicking off. Here comes Serral. 3 angles at the same time, or at a similar time at least. Parasitic bombs are connecting. Banelings taking out a lot of units. Ultra's working on that planetary over here. Ghosts do not fall. I repeat, the ghosts have not died. SCV count minus 15. Resources lost, about an 11k difference. Corruptors now being added into the mix. This is a transition into brutes indeed. This is indeed a transition into brutes, and I think it's the only thing that makes any sense here. Drone count perhaps a little bit too high still, as Serral believes he can hold this base. I don't really share that belief, and neither does Clem. He snipes every single ultra. These units are kind of stuck in the corner here. Loads of them are going to end up falling. This was not good. This was not good. This was a minus 5k fight here for Serral just now. And that is really painful. There are 15 corruptors out, and they need to start morphing into brutes right around... No. Okay. Not yet, I guess. Okay, so he's just sticking to Ultra Corruptor Infestor. To me, that doesn't feel like a composition that's going to be trading cost efficiently. And I think right now we're at a stage where Serral should realize that he's not going to be capable of outmining his opponent. And he's mined some minerals from here, but hardly any gas. And he's mining from this base. Like, even if he mines out this base, eventually Clem's gonna get here, right? Like, that's just the reality of things. Once you have this high ground, you have the entire right side, I believe. And Clem is also just denying mining here. Like, it's not very surprised by all of this. I really kind of am. No mines here to help out. There are liberators though in the back. Where's the rest of the ghosts? Just all on the high ground. Waiting in the back. Viper Corruptor, Ultra Bane. And this base is gonna mine, but I don't actually think Clem cares at all about that. Like, he's like, this is minor. Like, he's sending in a lip, you know. It's not like he's looking and he's like, oh man, this is seriously important for me, because I don't think it is. He's mining from the far right side. He knows he can take this base, and he knows that the gas hasn't been mined there. Which is literally all he cares about. This is a silly interaction. Oh! I'm just gonna get taken out. Clem is so fast, man. It is so cool. This is so cool. Big fight here, though, with a huge fungal. Bailey's not quite getting the connections. She's not getting the... He's been getting the fungals, but not the connections. Liberators are getting cleaned up. This was a very good fight. Sorry I missed the start of that. I was looking at a Corruptor and a Liberator. I guess not the most important thing in the world. Focus more on these fights here on the right side. That was a very good fight. Didn't clear the planetary, didn't clear the turrets though, so... Although it was nice, I don't think Clem is going to be losing any sleep over that. And now we have an instant move towards the left side. And this is also actually completely viable. Like, this is just viable. He can just move in here and say, hey, this is my turf. Like, it's so close. There's no serious neutral base that Serral can take. Like, if the base was over here, this would be a different story. But the base isn't over there, you know? It's not even close to being over there at all. Big parasitic bombs are hitting, though. Serral is barely outmining his opponent, as Clem is looking for that topside base. Lots are being sniped down. Cyclone, yeah, let's see. 1 kill on this Cyclone, hey, that's great for him. This base is secure, at least for now. I was gonna send some lips to deal with that, yeah. Is that Baneling? That's just a Zergling. Link's moving in forward. Corruptor's coming in as well, looking for the cleanup. I just get it, but at the same time, Ghost coming back home as well. The chickens come home to roost. just going to get pushed back into a corner. I'm not sure if Broodlord Infestor Spore would have been the correct call here. But I do believe that this isn't the correct call, what we're seeing here right now. It feels like Clem has figured out how to play the late game. And it looks like Serral is right now just getting to terms with that. He needs to first kind of realize, like, oh wait, I'm not just automatically winning the late games anymore. Because he's down 17k. He just, like, even with his bank, it's just, I'm not seeing him win any fights here. And once again, we have these Vikings. Just these random amounts of Vikings just being added in here. It's just wild. This time only 7. Last time on Alcyone was at 20, 22, 23. That's a crazy amount of Vikings. Clem's moving back and forth. Hatchery being thrown down on the left side. Here comes Clem. Here comes a fungal, though. Doesn't get the connection again. Keeps getting these fungals, but then doesn't get to finish it. Planetary, I don't think that's gonna die, actually. This planetary might fall, though. A parasitic bomb actually dealing quite some damage as well. This was an okay fight for Serral. But then in the end, it turned sour anyway. And ghosts are still all alive, and a couple of corruptors will fall. These ultras, they're gonna die too. They're stuck. They're stuck in the corner here. I think Serral is bleeding out. Misses a fungal. Corruptors moving in. GG, well played, good luck. As Clem takes out Serral, I think for the first time in quite a while. And also in dominating fashion in late games. Now, it would be easy to say here that Clem has figured out the late game and is going to be beating Serral every single time now. But I know Serral, and Serral is going to be studying these replays harder than anyone. I know there's going to be loads of Terrans studying this, and then after watching them 3 times saying, okay, this is not possible, I'm going back to 8 rexing off of 3 base every single game. But Serral's going to be watching these replays as well. Like, okay, what went wrong here? Are my compositions not correct? Was there something wrong with the micro? What needs to improve here for me to be capable of getting a win? He's a very solid analytical player that understands what needs to be done. And he has had the best late game in every single matchup in the past, well, practically since 2018, I think. There's not been a single player with better late game as consistently as he has. So he's going to figure it out. I am fairly certain of that. I don't think this is the end of an era, but it is a very impressive result here with Clem taking out Serral with a 3-1 score. That's going to be it for me today. I hope you all did enjoy this series. If you did, please don't forget to hit the like button. It helps me so much. Subscribe to the channel, of course. If you like these videos, hit the bell if you want them straight into your subscription feed. And hopefully I'll see all of you next time for more stuff. Ciao, ciao.